This is Will County's News Talk Sports 1340 WJOL. It's Tuesday morning, 24th day of September. It's time for Money Talks, brought to you by NuMark Credit Union. Today, Medicare made clear. That's got to be an oxymoron, Linda Krakora, right?
Absolutely.
Medicare made clear there is no such thing.
No, there isn't. Have you tried reading the book?
I have not tried reading the book.
I did, and that's why I have a friend.
That's why.
Who gets it.
Were your eyes glazed over after about 20 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy at all.
No, not at all. Well, that's why we have today Vicki Madigan. We'll introduce her here in just a couple of moments. We do want to remind you that this program brought to you by NuMark Credit Union. At the end of the program, we're going to give away 2 Baker Square pie cards. That's right. We're going to talk to our guests here today, Linda and Vicki, and one of them is going to say something that's going to blow your mind, and we're going to ask you, so pressure's on, ladies.
Okay.
We're going to ask you to tell us what that was that blew your mind. We're going to ask a question first, so make sure you listen closely, listen intently, and you could get 2 Baker Square pie cards for that, which is really, really cool. We also do want to remind you that you can go further faster when you choose NuMark for your next auto loan. With lower rates, personalized service, and many local auto dealer partners to choose from, you can be confident that NuMark will help you get the best deal. Learn more and apply by calling them at 815-729-3211, or you can visit their website at NuMarkCU.org. That's NuMarkCU.org. All right, so Vicki Madigan is here. We've had her on before, but we have some new information to get you folks. She is an agent broker for Madigan Insurance Group. Linda, have you guys had a relationship with her in the bank for a while?
Yes.
Or the credit union, for a while?
Vicki has been working with us for a couple of years to try and help our members and our community understand Medicare a little better. She does that really well because it is a confusing subject. And you know what? They don't prepare you for it. And then when you turn that magic age and you get that book, you go, oh my God, who understands this?
Right.
And I call Vicki.
I call Vicki. Hi, Vicki. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me again.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and Madigan Insurance Group, please.
Well, Madigan Insurance Group has been around since 2011. Recently, we've expanded. We have agents now in Kankakee, Park Ridge, Woodstock. We're licensed now in multiple states outside of Illinois, although, of course, we're licensed in Illinois. Mm-hmm. Our business focus is Medicare products and the ancillary products like dental, vision, and hearing that are not covered by original Medicare.
So when you started this, what was your goal? To provide insurance and information to people? Did you feel that there was a gap out there a little bit?
The largest thing that I found when I started in the insurance industry, especially in the Medicare field, is there was a lack of an education part of it. As I would visit with people in their homes, I would find that they really had no clear understanding of how the Medicare process worked. And my former career is that of an educator and a corporate trainer. So I really wanted to bring the educational piece to my meetings with clients.
Well, there you go. And the rest is history, as they say.
And the rest is history, as they say.
All right. Well, let's get into this thing here, folks. We're going to talk about some things maybe you haven't heard of before when it comes to Medicare. So make sure you stay with us. Listen closely. This information is going to be extremely valuable for you. So the first question, I heard Linda, mutter earlier off the air. She was like, I'm going to be close to this. So she's getting close to it. We're all getting closer to it. When can we enroll in Medicare?
Okay, that's a great question. Enrollment is a very important piece of Medicare. If you are the person getting ready to turn 65, you can enroll 3 months before your 65th birthday, the month of your 65th birthday, and 3 months later. You also have something during that time called a guarantee issue, which means you have no health questions to ask or answer for the most part. And then also some people, as you know, are working past 65, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Everybody's working past 65. So they're like, I have great employer health benefits. It's really a good idea to compare your employer's health plan with a Medicare plan because you could be saving a lot of money. You can still work, you can still earn your income, but you may be able to reduce your premium cost on your health care by coming into Medicare and coming off that employer plan. So if you do continue to work past 65 and don't enroll, then you have something called a special election period. And I work with my clients and the bank's client or the credit union's clients to help them know when that time is so that they time it correctly so that because there's a process. You don't just leave one plan and go in the other the next day. There's a preparatory process that takes 4 to 6 weeks before you can leave that employer plan and have coverage. And I guess the biggest piece of the education why I do that is I've seen too many people just kind of get fed up with their job, leave their job, walk in my office and say, well, I quit last Friday and now I need coverage.
Sure.
And it's 2 months before they have it.
Why would you not, even if you are working and happy with your job and you have good benefits, why would you at least not sign up for it? Are there any drawbacks?
To signing up for Medicare while you're working?
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 parts to Medicare. There's Medicare A, which is your hospital.
Okay.
Which everybody's going to get that card when they turn 65. But the Part B, you as a consumer actually pay a premium to Social Security. So it doesn't make sense to be paying for Part B to Social Security and paying the insurance company from your employer for your plan. However, in most cases, and I'm making a generalization, most people can continue to work, get Medicare A, pay the premium for B, and get either into a Medicare supplement and standalone drug plan or something called a Medicare Advantage plan and put quite a few dollars back in their pocket.
All right. Whew.
Yeah, right?
I got all that now. I'm all good. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Everybody understands everything now. No, there are some important changes coming to Medicare that we want to let people know about, and I believe you're going to tell us about Macra.
Correct.
Macra is not a new person that works at the Medicare agency?
No.
No?
No.
That's some lady in the back.
No, Macra is an acronym.
Yes, it is.
And as you know, in Medicare, we have many, and in insurance, we have many acronyms.
Oh, yeah.
So MACRA stands for the Medicare Access and CHIP Reauthorization Act of 2015. But what does it mean to you as a consumer?
Please.
Okay. So the first thing it means is if you've had Medicare for a while, you got a brand new Medicare ID card in the mail. Everybody was supposed to have it by April 1st of 2019. That is to protect your identity because previous to this act, your Social Security number was on your Medicare card, which left you open for further identity theft, fraud, etc. So that was the first thing for the consumer is they put this very like 1Q, 3Z, 4D number on your card, and it doesn't relate to you in any way. If you lose it or your wallet's stolen, your identity is protected. The second thing it did, which all the buzz is about this year, is it affects Medicare Supplement Plan F as in Frank, in that everybody thinks it's going away. So what that means is, and I'm going to try to make this short version here, is Plan F right now has no cost sharing. So if you were enrolled in Medicare Supplement Plan F, you pay your premium to your insurance carrier, you go to your doctor or hospital, and you really don't see a bill. There's no consumer cost sharing, no copays, no deductibles to pay, everything's paid. And people, I want to make it very clear, people who own that plan today can keep it in 2020.
Well, good.
But if you were turning 65 after January 1st of 2020, you would not be eligible to purchase that plan. Because now moving forward, Medicare, Social Security wants you to participate in cost sharing. Okay. And the third part of MACRA, deals with your health care providers. There's a public law that you can go look at on the internet. It's over 200 pages about the MACRA law. And the part that affects your health care provider is it's forcing them into quality care versus quantity of care. So not so many people, but so they will have penalties or they will have reports or different kinds of things that come against them as a healthcare provider if they're not providing quality care. There's a lot to read on MACRA. That's just the technical thing is that it was signed into law April 16th by bipartisan legislation. So, and it deals with traditional original Medicare is what it deals with.
Sure. Okay.
So does that mean we're going to see fewer physicians taking new Medicare patients?
I really don't know if you're going to see that. I just know there's criteria in the law that deal with how healthcare providers treat patients and the different procedures. I didn't really get too much into the provider side of it. I just know that there's a provider component of the law.
Why do you think this was needed?
Why do I think it was needed? Everybody needs to contribute. I mean, the healthcare, where healthcare is going, is everybody as a consumer needs to pay part of the way. It's really what it is. So they're just wanting to make sure Part B right now has a deductible. 2019, that deductible was $185. We will not know the 2020 deductible probably till November sometime.
Okay.
And Social Security sets that. One of the big myths is when people are turning 65 that they have to call Medicare. Actually, your Medicare card comes with you either taking a physical trip to your local Social Security office or going online to the website www.ssa.gov and applying for Medicare online. And before you need that coverage, you need to go at least 4 to 6 weeks in advance.
Okay. And you can start going 3 months before your 65th and 3 afterwards.
Correct. If you're doing it on the 65th.
I paid attention
So maybe
to that.
you win the Baker Square card.
I do. Wink, wink. Wink, wink. We're talking today with Vicki Madigan, agent broker with Madigan Insurance Group, and Linda Krakora. She's the training manager for NuMark Credit Union. We are addressing Medicare today. So how often should we review our coverage? It's like our insurance we review a couple of times a year. Our portfolios we hopefully review more than a couple of times a year. What about Medicare? How often should we do that?
Okay, so Medicare is a very specific time of year called open enrollment, annual enrollment election period, which is, we're getting underway with that right now. So agents and brokers can talk to consumers about 2020 plan benefits as early as October 1st. However, we cannot enroll you till October 15th. So if you're currently in Medicare and you want to make a change to your Medicare drug plan, or you want to make a change to a Medicare Advantage plan, you can make that change between October 15th and December 1st. Excuse me, I said that wrong. December 7th, and it takes place January 1st is when your policy goes active. So when you're making the changes in the fall, your policy does not go active till January 1. If you wait and call me on December 8th, I can't help you make it because you've missed the deadline.
Okay. Then you have to wait? Could you go without coverage?
You're not going without coverage. So you have coverage today in September.
Yeah.
And you're saying, these medications are too expensive, or I want to see if I can get coverage where this doctor is covered on a Medicare Advantage plan. So you go see an agent like myself between October 15th and December 7th. You decide to make a change. We do the paperwork or the online application. You get your new cards in the mail. All your new coverage begins January 1. But you still have your current coverage till the end of the year.
You're not getting anything taken away.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Do we answer health questions? What if our health changes? You're older, your health is going to change probably monthly, if not yearly, obviously. What do we have to do in terms of answering questions?
Okay, so that depends what type of a Medicare product you're enrolling in.
Okay.
If you decide to make a switch to join something called a Medicare Part C or a Medicare Advantage plan, those plans, to enroll in them, the eligibility requirement is, of course, you have to have Medicare Part A and B.
Okay.
You have to live in the plan service area, which means the plan that you're enrolling in has to be in the county in which you live. That doesn't mean you can't see doctors in other counties, but your contract with that Medicare Advantage carrier has to be within the county. And the only health question on a Medicare Advantage plan is, do you have end-stage renal disease, which is kidney disease.
Sure.
And if you can answer all those questions, you can enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, if you want to change a Medicare supplement plan and you're over 65 and you've had Medicare Part A and B for greater than that 7-month period that we discussed at the beginning of the hour, then when you fill out your application, there are literally 20 health questions you have to answer. And there are pre-existing condition clauses on Medicare supplements, and all applicants that enroll in a brand new Medicare supplement, unless they have a guarantee issue right, must pass through underwriting.
Let me ask you kind of a broad philosophical question, not political.
Oh, dear.
In any way, shape, or form. If other countries have it, there are some benefits to having it. There are some drawbacks to having it. If we had universal health care, like, I guess, Canada, per se, right? And a lot of European countries as well. Would we have to do all of this? Would we have so many rules and regulations? Or if we did have universal health care, would it be even worse than just Medicare?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question because I'm really not familiar how those systems work.
Okay.
I really focus on Medicare and Medicare beneficiaries and how to make it all work for them here. I actually have some clients that have come to the U.S., gained their citizenship, and like our Medicare program better. But as far as me being really educated on how Canada or England or someplace else works, I'm just not. But I'll learn that for next time.
That would be good. I would like that. What did they like better about our program? Did they say specifically?
It's just they got quicker. Quicker, like they got into a doctor quicker, or they were seen sooner.
Yeah, those are some of the drawbacks that I've heard. That it may take a
me
while to
too.
get a procedure.
Yes, and they're based a lot more on how mandatory is that procedure.
Right.
So if it's a heart surgery compared to a knee replacement, there's different waiting periods for that.
And where I see our Medicare beneficiaries in the U.S. looking at other countries' models is pretty much more in the prescription drug area because of the cost of prescription drugs, where I will have clients tell me, I get this medicine, this is an expensive medicine. They'll name the medicine. I get it from Canada, or I got on a grant program for it, or, somebody's going to Mexico. Now, I don't know how safe that is, and of course I never endorse that, but
it happens.
But that's what I hear clients telling me.
You got it. What about veterans?
Okay, that's a great question. So veterans, there's always questions about should veterans enroll in Medicare, and my professional opinion is yes, because there's lots of new programs and benefits for veterans. Now, I'm going to go back a second and say, okay, so if you're employed and you have a spouse that's employed, and back in the day you were on both insurances, so you have a spouse, you have your insurance from work, and your spouse has their insurance from work, and back in the day you could be on both plans. And then if you were ill or went in the hospital, they would call it coordination of benefits. So the billing department of your hospital would look at your insurance, would look at your spouse's insurance, and they would divvy up who pays what.
Sure.
The nice thing about Medicare with veterans benefits is they don't coordinate. So I have many veterans that have full veterans benefits, still enroll in Medicare A and B, and then have a secondary coverage through Medicare that gives them some additional benefits like dental, vision, hearing, a gym membership, some other kinds of things at a low or no cost to them. And that way they're not, for something simple, like a cold or a flu, they're not driving many miles to a local veteran site, and yet they can get care locally, but they can still take full advantage for things like glasses and hearing aids using their veterans benefits. And several carriers, insurance companies that target Medicare beneficiaries as clients, have put some really nice programs together for veterans. So what I see mostly with veterans is they don't know all the rich benefits that are available to them.
Which Vicki is the one who sent my husband to VA, and that's how I got associated with our local Veterans Association. And there are many benefits that people don't realize they get, and it does coordinate with your Medicare. So it's helped us many times. And as Vicki said, like a flu, Bob doesn't have to go to a VA doctor. He can go to any doctor and get his prescription at the local pharmacy instead of waiting for the mail order prescriptions. So that combination really makes sense.
And I had a client who had this situation, lives locally out in the Huntley area, in that general area, had a situation, took him to a local hospital emergency room that was a non-veteran issue. At the end of the day, they discharged him. It was nothing serious, but they wanted to give him a prescription. And when his family member went to the local pharmacy to get it, they had to pay full cost because he didn't have a Medicare prescription drug plan. And the only way they wouldn't have paid full cost is would have had to drive all the way to a veterans facility.
Oh, boy.
So veterans who have veterans benefits and are Medicare eligible and have these extra Medicare insurance policies get some benefits close to home, like coverage for prescription drugs.
Yes.
Linda, how does NuMark help with Medicare-related issues?
Well, it's hard for us to do anything, from that physical side of it, but our reach for the community has to be bring in Vicki
Sure.
and offer some education. And if anybody asks us, we try to connect them with the right people so that they get the help they need, because we don't deal with it ourselves.
Right.
And there's so many intricacies, as Vicki has stated today. And if you tried reading the book, you know what I mean. So we just try to direct them. We also hold seminars. Vicki's going to be in for a seminar on
October 1st.
October 1st in Crest Hill and October 10th in
Yes.
Countryside. She's doing 2 of them. We're an aging population, let's face it.
Oh, yeah.
So those boomers are booming business.
There's
for the Medicare
100,000
world.
seniors as of 2020 in Will County
in
alone.
Will County alone.
11,000 people turn 65 every day.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh. So
That's the statistic.
it's still a huge
Yeah.
group and a force out there. So the seminars help. Vicki goes through this, and I've gone to multiple seminars there as a host for Vicki, and you need to listen to the information. You
Sure.
need somebody to tell you step 1, step 2, step 3, because it's an awkward, difficult concept.
All right, so next Tuesday, 6 to 8, you can give NuMark a call. That's 729-3211 to reserve your spot. Or you can go to the website, newmarkcu.org. Again, that's next Tuesday, the 1st of October already. Gosh, where'd September go? In Crest Hill. If you want to go up to Countryside, that is 10 days later from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. Vicki, if you'd like, if you folks would like to talk to Vicki personally, how can they find you?
Oh, I have a brand new website.
All right.
So it's www.madiganins.com.
Simple.
And guess what? If your birthday's in January, that now is the time to go to Social Security and apply for Medicare.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Guys, thank you very much. Vicki Madigan, Linda Krakora, thanks. We appreciate it.
Thank you for
you.
having us.
All right, here's the trivia question for 2 Baker Square pie cards. You have 3 months before this birthday and 3 months after this birthday to sign up for Medicare if you've never done it before. What is that birthday? 815-254-7300. Again, 815-254-7300. First correct caller wins 2 Baker Square pie cards from NuMark Credit Union.